Hello everyone, welcome to React Advanced tutorial. In this tutorial, we'll talk about higher order components or HOC. And what we'll learn why we use HOC and how to use it. So higher order components is an advanced technique in React to reusing components logic. And what is higher order components? It's basically a function that takes a component and returns a new component. And we basically enhance the components that it passed in. And while the components gets props and returns components, HOC gets components and returns components. And that's the difference between the components and HOC. So what is it good for? So for example, for an application, we have some functionalities that is common and some views are common between some of the pages, and we want to avoid code duplication. We can use this technique to avoid this. Okay, the application that we are going to use for this project is a hamburger menu. We had a tutorial for it before, and all it does is create this hamburger menu. When you click on it, you can navigate to different pages. So if you have not watched this tutorial, you can go back and watch it, or you can go to this URL and it will provide all of the source code and you can download it and clone it. I'll do the same thing. I'll clone this project and I will start refactoring to use HOC. So let's do that. After you download the hamburger menu project, you will see something like this, and this is all of the files and folders that you can see. So here we can start writing our HOC. Where do we start? Since it's a menu, we can just add our file inside of the menu. So I will double click on it and create a new file called with menu. It means that all of the files that need menu to be added to their view, we can just add it here. And one thing I can do is, since the pages already have menu, I can just go ahead and remove the menu, and I should be able to still see the menu after I implemented the HOC project. So I can just remove this and remove this one as well. So let's just go to with menu and see what we want to add. So we mentioned that HOC is nothing but a function that gets a component and returns an enhanced component. So we can do exactly what we said. So first let's import React, and then we can just come over here and say const. So the name should be matched with what we have here. So let me zoom out from here and get a little bit here. So the name should be matched with what the file name. So with menu, since we call it with menu, so it should be with name. And then it's a function basically. So what do we get inside a parameter inside of the function? So we get the component. So let's add a component. We call it a wrapper component. And the type could be any. And yeah, let's just keep it as is like this. And what it returns a class. It should be a class. It's one of the requirements for HOC extend React that component. So as we mentioned, it returns a component. So let's so this any, and then we can open curly brace, close curly brace, and then from here we return. There's a return function here, and what it returns, it basically should return our menu. So we didn't talk about the fragments here. Fragments are the tags that you can just add your code in between. So this is one of the powerful things in JSX. So in order to just wrap your item inside of the div, so you can just wrap them inside of an empty tag, which we call it fragment. So here, since I have two items here, first I wanted to let's just add the menu, because in our component HOC we need to add the menu, right? So I need to add menu as well as this wrapped component. So since I have two items here, and it's not allowed to have two items inside of the return function, so I need to wrap them somewhere inside of the div or something, but I don't want to introduce a new element. I can just simply wrap them inside of a fragment like this, and I should put it here and tap. And this return, we have to also return the function, something like this, and these things should be inside of it. That's why it's complaining. Oops. So yeah, let's see what it needs here. Okay, after I did npm install, the error went away because I just downloaded the project and I did not do npm install. That's why it was complaining. I didn't know the component function. So you do the same thing in your terminal. You just do npm install, and it will install all of the node modules here that you require, and it will go away, that error. And now the last step is just to export the HOC that we just created. That's all for creating the HOC. That's all you need. So now we need to use this HOC that we just created. Where do we use it? We can just use it wherever we initialize or use these pages. So the page that we use is in our routes. If you remember in app TSX, in the previous of menu, we add all of the routes inside of the app TSX. And if I go here, you'll see that all of the routes are here, homepage and about page. So we can just import our new with a menu, and then use it here as a const, and we can call it homepage component, and it just takes the function and gets a home page as a component, and it will return the enhanced component. And all we have to do is simply, instead of the home page that we were passing to the route, instead we pass this home page. So from now on, the home page will have a menu, so we can see it in action. So I'll do the same thing for about page. So I can just wrap, I can duplicate this page, and instead of home page, I call it about page, and call this one, and use this, and use about page inside of here. And that is all for using HOC, and this one as simple as it is. So we can do one more thing. Usually, for example, if you want to pass some props inside of your component, so you can pass it like this. So we can go back to our with menu, and we can say, yeah, this will accept some props, and we can pass these props to our original component. So something like this. So for example, if I go to app TSX, now it requires one more argument. And if I, for example, want to pass some props to my home page, I can just simply add those props here. Or if I want to add props to about page, I add it right here. And then I will receive these props inside of my, for example, home page. So I'll get these props here, right here. So for now, I just don't need any props, but it's possible that you can pass anything, not only the props. Since it's a function, this HOC is a function, so you can pass anything here. So that's the beauty of these HOC. So I put the type as well, and that's all. Let me see why this return is empty. It was this return, which it's a typo. We should be type it render instead of return. And now after you run it, you will see the application works fine, and you'll see the menu, although the menu is not part of the home page. So that's the HOC project. It's very simple one that we could create. You can just add the constructor, you can add more functions to it, you can add more props and anything you would like, and it's very powerful and very useful for your application. I hope you liked it. Share and comment and let me know what is the next thing that you would like to learn in JavaScript, especially in React. Thank you and have a great day.